everyone, welcome back from the networking break. Is the case with this. Once the noise starts appearing from the room, more people start to come through. So anyone coming through, take your seats nice and quickly, please. So we move on with our next fireside chat. We're joined by Natalisa Pickett, Head of Procurement at KeolisAmey Docklands. Our topic is Beyond Compliance, Embedding Sustainability into Procurement Strategy. So a warm welcome for Natalisa, please. Thank you. Okay, well, compliance is the word here, and being compliant, I always say it's a start, but it's never really enough, is it? If you're compliant, you really need to be looking a bit further ahead. For you, why is it so critical to be ahead of that curve of compliance?
Compliance, it is like cleaning your teeth every morning. It is great, but it is not enough. And whatever fantastic process I follow, and with PQQ, tender documents, evaluation metrics, and then bash supply over the head and squeeze last penny of them, if I don't create chemistry between internal client and suppliers, it will never work. So it is very, very important to go a little bit beyond of the process and make sure. I very often refer to procurement as a matchmakers, because we need to create this love, if you wish, between internal clients and suppliers. And only when you have it, this love, you can have all these savings, innovations, efficiency, and all these lovely things. But this partnership is first, and it is definitely beyond compliance.
And one thing I would like to do is just lay out a bit of context really about your role and the machine your procurement operation is feeding, because I looked online and went through some of the stats and the numbers, and it's quite staggering. Could you just fill us in briefly on a bit of that first?
I'm head of procurement for KeolisAmey Docklands. We are a joint venture, and we are running Docklands Light Railway, Manchester Metrolink, and Nottingham Trams here in the UK, and many other transport ventures in the world. We are a joint venture. Amey is UK infrastructure company, Keolis is French transport company, part of French SNCF, and we are joint venture. We are franchisee for TfL to run Docklands Light Railway, and I'm head of procurement responsible for buying everything from heavy maintenance to paper clips.
That's a very broad remit. Was 124 million passengers or so, which is quite extraordinary when I looked at the numbers.
Yes, we look very small, just East London Railway, but we are I think number 5 in the UK by passengers. So yeah, we're doing pretty well. Even despite COVID, we didn't lose any passengers.
It just gives you an idea of the context that we're talking about. Let's talk silos for a second, because too often in the past, I have done more of these events than I would care to remember, but how often I've heard about sustainability's had to work in something of a silo. I know that's increasingly a thing of the past, but for you, how do you go about breaking those silos down and embedding it within your procurement operations?
If sustainability silo is become tick box exercises, and unfortunately it is. I can see it very often. Just, are you sustainable? Yes, tick, off you go, and then you're doing your own thing. And for me, probably I'm not really conventional head of procurement. For me, I have problems with the sustainability targets as such, apart from governance and all obvious. Because if you have these targets, your focus becomes very, very narrow, and you focus only to tick these targets, and you don't see full picture. I remember, stop me if I'm from the conversation. Many years ago when I joined KeolisAmey Docklands, I inherited cleaning contract, which was input contract, and based on very strict specification, you need to swipe this platform X amount of time, and if you don't, we will penalize you. You need to do this, this, and that, and if you don't, we will penalize you. And it means that supplier didn't deliver service. They were avoiding penalties. So now, first thing, and for example, if bubble gum on the floor is not part of this penalty, floor will be covered by bubble gum, and I couldn't do anything because it's not contractual. So now what we what we did, we decided that these targets, these prescriptions of what supplier is supposed to do, it is probably wrong way of doing things. So now we have output contracts. So this is X amount of money. This is our cleaning standards. Off you go. And then we will do audits and the rest. So we sort of broaden our targets. Now targets are more about customer satisfaction than about some particular tick box exercises. So I'm not sure what even questions I answered.
No, that does ask the question.
But yes, it is just think bigger.
Because as you say, it's too often a tick box.
Yep.
We've achieved that. We can put that in the report. Wonderful. For you, is focusing on that performance and the output just as important? Is that, and that's delivered you results?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And for me, I don't tell supplier how to do things because they're industry leaders, they know how to do it. And they will employ 100 people or just Harry Potter with magic wand, and I will not tell them how to deliver service. They know it better than I do.
A big part of our conversation today has been about technology and how different organisations use technology to get results. Whenever I have a procurement leader on this stage, I love to find out what you're using, how you go about using it, how you get the best from it. What's been your experience?
I work for rail industry, and in this extent, rail industry a little bit backwards. For a million different reasons. We have very big and robust asset management system, IBM Maximo, and it is huge, and every spare part will be there. But this system doesn't have sort of procurement bit as such. So we found it is part of our the diversity program. We try to engage with the small and medium business as much as possible. So we found a tiny little company who does produce for us this, technically it is supplier database, a very clever system. But because we are one of their first customer, it is very flexible for us. We can agree with them what and how we are doing. Is anybody from Nova K here? But anyway, brilliant guys. So is it our final solution? I don't know. We just started because for us, we checked a lot of different systems, and all this singing and dancing, we are not ready for singing and dancing yet. We will be, but probably not now. And particularly, I love all these AI solutions. You need people from Evalua here. They have, sorry, I'm just looks like doing some free advertising. I saw this fantastic AI solution who do all the possible analysis of all the contracts, but I'm not ready. I will not utilize it right now as much as I should. One clever person told me that AI, it is like a bunch of minions, and it can be good, bad, ugly, lazy, clever, hardworking, not really, and depends how you structure your questions, the quality of answer you will get. We are not ready yet for this, and I don't want to pay a hell of a lot of money for this brilliant system if I won't be able to utilize. But we're getting there, so step by step.
That is something that definitely comes up in terms of themes when it comes to tech. One thing I'm always interested in, and we're talking here about embedding sustainability into procurement strategy. When you're progressing your procurement strategies, how do you make sure that sustainability is always part of the discussion? How do you go about that? It is
probably back to our initial conversation. Firstly, it is policies. In every document, it will be one way or another sustainability questions. In pre-qualification questionnaire, in tender documents, in contracts, in post-contract review, and all of this. So, but it is more about ticking the box. Are you sustainable? Yes. But also we always have, particularly with big suppliers, conversation about any innovations and sustainability, how they do things better. Plus, we always do supplier audit on their side, just have a look how it works. Because of course we are trying to use EcoVadis and any other brilliant systems, but for me it is very paper-based, and I want probably old school, old-fashioned. I need to see how they do things. So, yeah.
When you're working with those suppliers, I guess sometimes there's difficult conversations that have to be had if their sustainability isn't up to scratch. Without wishing to give away too many secrets, how do you go about those conversations to make sure they are up to the sustainability standards that you expect?
It is two ways. Sometimes if it is a small supplier and they just don't have capacity to jump all these hoops and do what they need to do, we're happy to help. We work in rail industry, we have so-called risk system, rail industry supplier qualification system, sort of, again, big supplier database with all information there for what and how they're doing. And we helping small suppliers to be part of this system, and if we can help them to get some certificate or some processes in place, we're helping them to do it. This is one thing. But if some big and ugly suppliers just don't want to follow the process, we will say goodbye. So just this is how it is. Yeah.
Let's move on to people and culture here, because I think that's something critical within the strategy, because there's the people who have to deliver the strategies you're putting in place. Bless you. How do you make it part of your everyday? How do you make sustainability part of the everyday within the people who deliver these strategies?
You can't enforce culture. It should be, I don't like this word, but it is journey. So everyone should be together. I remember when 20 years ago, Christina remembers, I joined Network Rail. It was my first role here in the UK, and very often it was sort of, who are you, little Russian woman, to teach us how to do business? I got over it, but the thing is, these people who told me so, they say, I have 30 years experience, but you have 30 years experience in pushing this particular button. So it's not 30 years experience, and 1 year's experience multiplied by 30. So you're not progressing. So it is this sort of conversation just to change people's perspective that, yes, you did this particular thing 30 years, but just have a look at something different, and maybe, just maybe, you will find something useful and interesting, and we can embed and implement some new things in new practice. It's all about communications and conversations with people.
And speaking of those conversations, let's move on to partnerships. For you, as you're at the heart of this vast supply chain operation to make such services work, how much responsibility do you feel there is to offer leadership, offer inspiration, offer guidance to those partners to help them with their own sustainability journeys?
It's complicated because every department and every person on different stages of this journey and this understanding. I'm sure even in our audience, people in probably different mindset. My approach is just to start with something small, and back to our conversation about targets. Just not put some fantastic targets, but make sure that tomorrow you will be slightly better than today. Just nicely and slowly, and somehow you will see how much you achieve. The same with our internal clients. So if I will tell them whatever you do today, it is wrong, do these things, I doubt it will work. But if we can introduce some small changes, and then probably we will achieve better result. But again, one size not fits all.
You've been good enough to give us several examples of different parts of the strategies that you follow within your procurement strategy for sustainability. Are there any others you'd want to share that you're particularly proud of within your organisation, that is how procurement has led sustainability? Any that you feel has really made a difference? Anything that you're particularly proud of?
Yes, but it is very, very rail related. A few years ago, we realized that got railway terminology, our bogies, chassis, train chassis start cracking. And it was obviously panic, because it's safety critical equipment, and we needed to tender, to find replacement. And rail market is very, very small, we thought, very, very small. So I knew few suppliers who potentially can deliver me these bogies, and I slowly started tender exercises. But then in some, can't remember which one event, I met guys who, and majority of rail manufacturers, they're German ones. So huge, boring organizations who absolutely know what they're doing. And I found in some event this small UK manufacturer, Hutchinson, who at that time produced turbines for electric industry, and also they did chassis for Douglases for aircrafts. And I thought, if it is good for aircrafts, maybe it will be good enough for trains as well. Of course, it's different forces, but still. And I invited them for the tender, basically just for hell of it. For my shock and horror, they won this tender. And I was absolutely petrified because they didn't have any rail experience whatsoever, nada. And we thought maybe we need to start tender again, or what to do with this, because it is safety critical equipment. And a little bit other story about importance of experience. A few years ago, I realized that I need glasses, and I went to Boots Opticians, and they said, yeah, glasses and contact lenses. A week later or so, I came back to try my lenses, and this beautiful optician, she wasn't wearing lenses, she was wearing glasses. She was trying to teach me how to put these lenses into my eyes. 40 minutes later, of poking my eyes, I storm out of these Boots, just yelling and screaming, should go to Specsavers or something. But this receptionist, beautiful receptionist with these long nails and these beautiful eyelashes, she showed me in 10 seconds how to put lens, because she does it every morning with these nails and these eyelashes. So I realized that it is important. Even if you educated and have this book how to put, you need to try it yourself. So back to our bogie conversation, I was absolutely scared. But we did all the due diligence, we followed the process, and firstly we saved hell of a lot of money for public sector for these bogies, but also we introduced new supplier, new small supplier, new UK supplier to rail industry. And it is, for some reason now it is very rare, because it's very sort of secluded market for good and bad reasons. But I'm very proud of it, and now we continue doing similar thing. If we see particularly small suppliers, because apparently 70% of UK population works for small and medium business, we are trying to introduce and help them to be part of a rail family.
That's a fantastic example, and the optician example, that's absolutely perfect. The thought of putting contact lenses in an eye with nails that long is also slightly terrifying.
Yes.
I do want to cross to any questions from the room. I know there's plenty more I would like to get into. Is there anything immediate from the room? Yes, we do. I will leap down.
Hi Natalia, I work for London North Eastern Railway, so I can relate quite a lot to what you've been saying. My question is about, you've embedded sustainability into the strategy, but how do you embed it into the reality with the procurement managers? You know, obviously we'd never miss out safety or price, but often if things, you know, need to be done in a rush, for example, sustainability does seem to be the one that gets missed off. So it'd be good to know from your experience how you embed it into the reality of doing the procurement.
We are still on the journey. I support this sustainability process with spec of document. So initially it can be tick box, but I will encourage my internal clients as minimum to think about it Did you think about this, this, and that? So process supports our idea of sustainability. But also, particularly with big suppliers, very often they know better how to do things in their area and be sustainable. And I'm learning from them. I'm nicking their ideas. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm trying to, and also we very often we have, not very often, once a year, we have supplier conferences where all the suppliers come together, all my internal clients come together, and we talk. And again, it is a lot of very good ideas how to do things differently, because this area is developed so fast, and so many new things, new ways to do things, that I can't be always on top of it, but I will be able to ask clever people how to be on top of it, if I answer.
Okay, there's another question just there before we wrap things up.
Yeah, hi. My name is Christian Heinrich from KeolisAmey. Nice to meet you. Speaking about that, and I like that, how one thing is the strategy, the other thing is how do we get it into the processes. We have 50 or 200 or only 10 category managers, and they have, as you mentioned, 10,000 other things to do, not only the sustainability thing. My question would be, and maybe you are right now on that level, did you differentiate between what is really important in this whole fluffy sustainability ESG world? Because basically we are all doing business, which means P&L. Did you think about dividing your KPIs you are then tracking between qualitative and quantitative measurables? And if so, out of the ESG suite, which one would be the quantitative one which you want to measure, where you, for example, also can think about putting in bonus structures, because as we all know, if we don't have bonus, everybody is at 5 p.m. in the pub and doesn't care about it.
Oh, it is a difficult question, and at the moment we are not as harmonious as I want it to be, because we have, it depends on category, unfortunately, at the moment. So if we are talking about suppliers like body shop suppliers, say they provide gang for railway who are doing things, so criteria like modern slavery will be first, and how we measure and questions we ask will be these ones. If we are talking about, say, cleaning, it will be both. It will be modern slavery plus a lot of questions about what chemicals they use. So I can't say that we have one process for all the suppliers. It depends on category, and then on our regular contract review meetings, we will ask different questions. Probably we will come to some solution which cover all, but at the moment it is just, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much indeed for your questions. We are out of time now. Our next session will be From Legacy to Leadership, how Liverpool Football Club transformed its supply chain for sustainability. That will be up after a short break. But for now, my thanks to Natalia. Thank you.